So this is a call point. Activation. Sounders will go off. Panel would say the location and the zone. Zones are listed there. This is zone 1, ground floor hub. Number 1. Silence. You silence the sounders. Mute. Mute the panel. Investigate the device. Reset the device. And reset on the panel. Once it's in normal panel operation, everything's good to go. In an event of an emergency, these are emergency call points on every floor, on every core. So you push it, it'll drain back at the hub. Once it's ringing, it'll say the location, text, call B level 0. Simply pick up the phone, hello, and you hear at the other end. To end the call, just put the phone down, back to normal. In the event of an emergency, you simply just pull the cords and they'll relay it back to the driver's hub. Once the disabled point's been activated, the light will come up saying calling and it'll say the location. Caller set it, and then the sound will go intermittent. So go on, off, and then you investigate the area and you reset it from the area. Once it's been acknowledged from the driver's hub, come to the location, reset it. I'll be back in normal operational mode.
So to set the intruder alarm, bring this flap down, and then once you've done all your checks around the building, making sure all the doors are closed, enter the code, say, do you want an alarm system? Press the tick button, and then from there, you'll then exit these doors to then start the exit procedure. Upon entry of the building, the entry tone will sound off, bring the flap down, enter the code 5678, and then all the sounds will silence, and then that's the building unset. So come into the recorder using the mouse, right click, and then if you wanted to view another set of images, scroll down to view 64, go down to 65 to 128. It will then take its time to flick into the next set, where you have these ones up here. 83 cameras in total on this recorder. If you wanted to go to recorded footage, right click again, click on search, just type in the password, then come to this screen. Anything with a dot underneath the date shows recorded footage. All of these down here are your cameras. So we'll go for these for preset. Click on this play button. And then on this timeline bar, you can use the scroll button to push it forward to zoom in, and then scroll it back to zoom out. You can click anywhere on here, or click and drag. Here you've got your pause button, stop, play backwards, slow, fast or speed up, previous and next day. And then for the volume, won't need to use too much. This is your snapshot. So this will take a screenshot of the footage as it's showing. And then these few icons you won't need to use. This video clip here, if you want to take a certain bit of footage, click that once to start the clip. Let the footage run all the way until you've captured what you needed to see. Press the scissors again. You'll then see it's got a time frame of the footage. Click save. And then this is where you'll have either a USB or a external hard drive plugged into the recorder, which would come up here. Got all the information of the channel that's recorded, the type, start and end times, and then all you do from here, click back up, and that would then back up onto either the USB stick or the hard drive. And then to come back out of the menus, right click all the way till you get back to your main screen.
In all of the toilets, you have an IPS panel, and in beyond the IPS panel, there are some services. So you just stick the key in the key lock, open it, and this is what you'll see. So in each IPS, you've got from spurs, they are labeled up what they do, hand dryer, these are two spares, and then obviously you've got some pipe work and the toilet system in each of the IPSs. Get the key, if you're short, get a step ladder. Open the hatch, and all the spurs are located up on the wall, and they're labelled hoist, shower, and emergency alarm. In the event of a building's main failure, the first point to come and investigate will be your main incoming ACB. Obviously, if there is a failure, it will be tripped. So you'll look at it, it'll have, it will indicate that it's off. In order to recharge it, you would come in, you would obviously use this lever, recharge it until you hear it click. There, that is showing that it's now energized and ready to go. And then you just press the on button and that locks. So now that is ready charged, and that should bring your power back onto the building. In the event of wanting to energize a rotary isolator, you'll obviously approach the isolator. The green mark indicates the status of the switch. At the moment, it's obviously in the off position. When you energize it, it's as simple as turning into the on position. You'll hear a click, and that is now energized. Life safety rotary isolator is the same principle as your other isolators. The red denotes the position of the isolator, so at the moment you can see it is in the off position. To energize it is as simply as turning it into the on position, and you'll hear a click. So that now is energized. And this supplies the LV life safety panel, which is located in the water tank room. So in the event of an electrical circuit tripping through a fault, you would obviously identify and make sure that there is no fault. You would come to the panel, the associated electrical distribution board, look through all the breakers to see which one is inadvertently tripped, locate the tripped breaker, and once you're happy that it's safe to re-energize, it's just a matter of turning it back onto the on position. If any maintenance needs to be carried out on any of the electrical distribution boards, all the distribution boards are fitted with a main isolator. So in order to conduct any works, you'll just go to the main isolator, and you will switch this switch from the on position to the off position, and it will kill all the internal circuitry, so then the board is safe to work on. In the event of wanting to isolate the power and lighting boards combined, all boards are fitted with an isolator. The same principle applies. Just rotate the switch from the on position to the off position, and that will then de-energize both lighting and power boards. On each of the floors, we have an enclosure which houses the time clock and some of the lighting controls. We have preset all settings on the floors, the internal floors, to come on at 6 a.m. and switch off at 10 p.m. in the evening, and this houses the time clock. This should not need to be set up at all. At every lighting distribution board, there is a set of emergency lighting test key switches. In order to operate them for your maintenance, you just take your fish key, insert it into the electrical test switch, and just switch until you hear it click. And that will bring on the emergency light for a test. I just do need to also make you aware that when testing them, some lights will stay on. Those are the normal light fittings. However, you will see all the emergency lights will dim down slightly under test. With regards to lighting control, every floor is split into quarters, and each quarter has 50% of the light fittings on a timer, and the other 50% are on a PIR. So at any given time, from the set parameters of 6 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. at night, 50% of the lights will be on, unless the rest are activated via a PIR. That was at quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. This is your Cat 5 pump sets. So how these work, they are only required to be in operation when there is a need on a certain floor to undertake any sort of cleaning or activity using water. So in order to operate them, you just press this F2 button. That will take you into a menu screen. You'll scroll down till you reach the manual operation. You will then go back to the F2 key, press enter, and you'll scroll across to the certain time that you need. So as you can see, I'm pressing that and the time is ramping up. So if you need it for 30 minutes, you'll press it 3 times. If you need to double that to an hour, you press it again. Take you up to 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, or 24 hours. That will give you your demand. And if you want to switch it off, you will just switch the off button and that will switch the pump set off. This is your PV inverter, which is supplied from all the panels located out on the roof area. So that feeds in from this unit, well, they feed in from the panels into this unit, from this unit via that switch, and then obviously back onto the grid. So in order to isolate this, you'll merely just come across and turn this from on to off, and that will isolate the inverter. And as you can see, the alarm fault has now appeared. Once you want to re-energize it, you're able to just switch this back on, and there will be a time delay, and this alarm will then clear. This is your PV EPO, so emergency stop. So in the event of an emergency, you will obviously press it, or if there is maintenance being conducted, walk over, press the EPO button, and this changes the state of a set of contacts out in the field, which then stops the supply going over to the PV inverter. To reset it, it's just a matter of grabbing the button and pulling it back out. We're demonstrating the set of fireman switches. These are activated via the EPO button inside the plant room. Once activated, they'll change status from red to green. Green indicates that it's now safe to work on the system. Once the EPO is reset, they'll change from green back to red, indicating that the system is now back live. This demo is the comms room AC units. So in order to activate the unit, you just press this on button. The temperatures are set at 19 degrees for cooling. We have also inserted a lock facility, so at the moment these systems are locked on cooling only, so they cannot be inadvertently changed to heating. And this is obviously to keep this area cool so that the equipment behind me stays in a cool condition. When you're looking to maintain the AC units, the comms room AC units, this unit just needs to be isolated from that switch up there. At the moment it's in the on position. You rotate it to the left to the off position. That will then render this disabled, and you can then conduct any of your maintenance on this unit. This is a demonstration for the AHU controller. So at the controller, it's quite simple. Select your mode. So at the moment the controller is in standby, so you can see there is nothing active on it. You select your mode. You can see it's obviously calling for either on. However, you can override that. You can go to either economy or to comfort. So we'll select economy. You'll see the green dot will then indicate that the AHU is starting up. So the fans and the condensers on the roof are starting up. And then what you can do is, if you feel it might be a little bit cool in the environment, click on set point and you can adjust your set point. At the moment we're sitting at 17.3. You can up it to really whatever you want, which is the comfort of the environment. I will leave it down at call it 16.8. So that's setting up the set point. So in the event of wanting it warmer, you can obviously just set the set point up to 25 degrees, 28 degrees, whatever you feel being comfortable. There is a setting which you are able to set schedules, weekly schedules, so on-off timers. All you need to do is to go into the menu, select the down button, come up with a screen that will say weekly schedule, holiday schedule. So we'll select weekly schedule, and then you can just insert the times that you want the unit to come on and off. We've left it in the manual operation just for simplicity, so you either want it on or you don't. So it's up to you to decide what schedule times you want to insert into that. So to come away from that menu, you just press the back scroll button, and that will then take you back to your main menu page. This demonstration is for your over-door heater. Again, this controller is located in the reception area. Very simple. When you want the over-door heater on, just press the on-off button. Lights will come on the display, and you can then set, at the moment you can see the heating is set at maximum. If you find it might be a little bit too hot or too warm, you can just set that down slightly to whatever is comfortable, depending on the ambient weather conditions. And again, you can just set that up again. If it becomes too cool, you can just set it up to being warm. These are your fan speed buttons over here. So again, we are on the fastest speed. By just pressing one of these other buttons, you just reduce the actual fan speed. We'll leave it on the fastest speed. And again, once you decide to switch the unit off, sometimes if it's been running for a prolonged period of time, there is an overrun to cool the heaters off once you switch it off. So don't be alarmed if it does run for probably about a minute or two afterwards. That is just merely cooling the coils and running down in a cooling cycle. So to switch it off, you just press the off button. This demonstration is for the water heaters. So there are 3 water heaters. One is located in the cleaner's cupboard, one in this location in the driver's changing area, and there is one in the kitchenette under the sink. These have all been pre-set up already. If you do find that the water temperature is a little bit hot, a little bit too warm, or a little bit too cold, merely just a minor adjustment on this switch over here, and that will then adjust your water. So that way over there is for max, and coming back this way over here is to get your minimum. So in order for that to work, it's just a very minor adjustment. As I say, these are all already preset, so they shouldn't need any adjustment. This demonstration is for the bin store extract fan. Extract fan is located inline, it's an inline fan. The means of isolation, electrical isolation, is done at the spur, and the adjustments on the fan speed are done at this controller. So at the moment the fan is running very, very low, but if you want to increase it, it's just merely turning this dial and you'll hear the fan increase in speed. If you want to dial it back down, it's just merely turning it in an anti-clockwise direction.
Okay, this is the BMS control panel for this site. It's quite a basic setup. As you can see on here, you have your what's called a HMI, human machine interface. We'll run through this later just to go through the graphics. On here displays all your faults and all your points that are enabled. We have control circuit live lamp. So obviously if we have no power, nothing will be on here at all. If a circuit breaker or a fuse pops, this will go off, so that'll give you an indication. This should always be on. We have this lamp test button just to very quickly test all the lamps. As you can see, all the lamps are working. Okay, this is your safety circuits. Either of these activate and come on. Any plant within this will shut down. So that's your fire alarm and your safety circuit. Your safety circuit is a push button in the corner. We have a fault here for the Cat 5 booster set, which is the water tank just there. We also have a fault for the leak detection. So any leaks detected, this will come on. Tank room sump pump, which is next door. Again, if that goes into alarm and the water level raises too high, this light will come on. We have a fault for the air handling unit, which is up on the roof. We have a fault for the heat recovery unit, which is just a couple of doors down. Then we have here a switch for the extract fans. We have a switch here for the overdoor heaters, and we have some faults for the air conditioning units for the comms rooms. With regards to these switches, the system's currently set into auto. However, the system is set to run 24/7 anyway. If for whatever reason the controller did fail inside this panel, what you can do to get these units running, you can switch them over to hand, and they'll run independently of the controller inside, but they should always be in auto. Okay, and that's the basic control of the front of the panel. The HMI itself is again very simple. So on here you have just the 3 graphic pages after this landing page. So this does replicate as well some of these devices here. So you can see the fire alarm and emergency stops. So they're both reading healthy. And also here you've got the overdoor heaters, which is saying they're enabled and healthy. So enabled and healthy. Okay, if we start off on the ventilation page, all you need to do is click on that and that. And it loads up the ventilation page. Again, very basic information on here. Tells you the unit's enabled, that it's not in fault, and it also gives you the temperatures it's controlling that as well. Okay, to navigate back to the main menu page, just click the home button. Back there. Then we could go into the AC unit page. Again, just a very quick overview. It tells you, is the unit on, what it's doing, is it in fault, and what the temperatures are. What you've also got on this side here is set points. So if you wanted to change the temperatures on these, you could just very briefly tap in that button there, and you can see it's increased. But as these are comms rooms, generally you would just leave them as they are. Okay, they're normally set at 19 degrees. Okay, go back to the main page once again. At the metering page. Okay, the vast majority of your meters are electric meters, and they're all displayed on here showing you where in the building they're located. We've also got down in the bottom right here just some water meters you have 2 of. And again, it just gives you the values of those meters. And that's pretty much this panel, how it operates. Okay, just going to cover the metering aspect of this site. So what I've done here, I've got a laptop plugged into the controller, navigated to it via his web browser. So you'll be doing the same thing across your network once the network's set up. So the graphic page looks identical to what is on the HMI. So all we're going to do on here is just a very quick thing as well. With this system, to do this function, you will not need to log in. You just navigate to the page, you're already logged in. Okay, so for the metering, just obviously click on the metering page. And again, you'll get all your values pop up on here. So for example, if you wanted to export the trend data for DBC3, all you would do is click on the value, click on the meter itself, load up this page. What you can do then is you can choose what dates of data you want. So for example, we'll go from the 8th of July to the 12th of July. So it's selected our trend data there, which you can see, and it's giving you the values. There's a little icon up here, which you can just about make out, which when you highlight it, it says export to Excel. Click on that. Again, you select your dates and times, click export, and then you'll see it's downloading now on your PC, and you can open up that spreadsheet, and there's all your trend data. That process you've just done there for that 1 meter is identical for all the meters. You can then manipulate that data in any way to put it into a graph or however you want to present it. And that's it.